I love this quote from an inspiring young woman named Cody Sanchez. She's an investor, a business builder, and a real trailblazer when it comes to women and their relationship to money. She says this: life is about moments. The moment you find your passion, the moment you decide to follow it, and the moment that you realize you can actually make money doing it. Welcome to the world of female entrepreneurship. Being an entrepreneur is very thrilling when it's your calling. The moment you see your dream become reality, it's both magical and empowering. However, entrepreneurship, especially being a solo entrepreneur, can also be incredibly overwhelming, especially around creating that work-life balance between being the CEO of your business and the CEO of your family and your household, right? On today's program, we are very, very blessed to have the publisher of MOMpreneur.Buzz, who will provide us with some wonderful resources that will help us to navigate the challenges that we face every day as women in business.
Welcome to Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter, a video podcast series with certified money coach Marlene Elizabeth, with amazing weekly guests who share their inner challenges, personal triumphs, and inside tips and strategies so you can prosper, lead, and love bravely in business and life. So get comfy and get ready to grow money wings.
My name's Marlene Elizabeth, host of Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter. I am so excited to be here today with Miss Stacey Allis. Welcome, Stacey.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You bet, you bet. Before we get started, I'd love to share a little bit about you, Stacey. So Stacey Allis serves as the current Assistant Director for the Inland Empire Center for Entrepreneurship at California State University, San Bernardino. And this office also oversees our local women's business centers. And she's also the co-producer of the Spirit of the Entrepreneur Awards program here. And this is very exciting. She is the publisher of MOMpreneur.Buzz, an online lifestyle news and media website for moms in business. And I had the wonderful honor and pleasure of having the opportunity to be interviewed by MOMpreneur.Buzz right around.
The pleasure is all ours.
Oh, thank you, Stacey. Thank you so much. It was so exciting to be able to share my new book, Money Wings. So super excited to talk with you today, Stacey. Thank you for being here to talk a little bit more about our relationship to money as it relates to being new and aspiring female entrepreneurs. We have a lot of those that are watching the show today, and so just love having you here for that conversation.
Yes, this is a very broad and conversation that can go in so many different directions. So I hope to bring some rewarding perspective to the topic.
Awesome, awesome. Well, one of the things I love to ask my guests is, what is your first memory of money?
I can actually recall a couple. The one that's most clear in my mind probably would be, as a young girl, actually my Uncle Joe sharing his very high-end custom coin collection. And I remember thinking, he spends so much money taking care of this money that he doesn't spend. He literally invests in the care of this money. It has intrinsic value to him, right? And I'm sure if we took it to get evaluated, I'm sure it has some monetary value, but that wasn't the point to him. So the monetary value wasn't exactly dollar for dollar, is not going to match the value that it brought to him. But I still remember thinking to myself, gosh, he buys special cleaners. He buys special cases. He has a special locked cabinet for all of them. He invests time polishing them regularly. But he also, you know, gets to show off some fun and interesting and historical pieces. But needless to say, that didn't necessarily resonate with my practical mind. And still to this day, I don't collect anything. And I don't gamble anything. But yeah, that's probably my earliest, you know, fondest memory of actual literal money.
That's a great story. And what do you, because what age were you about this time? You were
probably 7, 8.
So 7, 8 years
and
old.
Every year we would make a trip to go visit Uncle Joe, and every year he would bring it out and show it off. So, yeah.
His pride. So what kind of, you know, kind of looking back now as an adult looking back, what kind of meaning do you think you took away from that? What kind of conclusion?
That's a really good question. I think probably, and not, I mean, hindsight, you know, since we're kind of looking at this objectively, it was a very subjective experience, right? That I knew with family and related it to, you know, good times, you know, spending time with Uncle Joe. But at the same time, I feel that money, it wasn't exactly about saving, and it wasn't exactly about spending. It was just really the novelty of it. So putting 2 and 2 together, I might have actually thought that money, financial, was a novelty to be revered.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because all of us, I mean, every single one of us, no matter what our income level is, we all have some type of limiting beliefs around money. And I've learned that these limiting beliefs, you know, along the way, I know in my life, you know, can really prevent us from achieving our financial potential. And why might that be important? One of the things, you know, in this show, I know I talk to a tremendous amount of women that are doing some really great things in their business. And like, for example, for yourself, empowering these women to do these great things in their business. And this is such a gift for the community, for, you know, even for the state, for the world, right? And so to be able to empower women around the relationship to money, and be able to kind of figure out what these limiting beliefs might be holding them back from is part of my passion. And so I'd love to ask you, either in your relationship to money or because you work with so many entrepreneurs, what do you find might be one, you know, limiting belief around money that kind of trips people up?
We always say, especially going through the ideation process, right? Entrepreneurship is completely a mindset. And sometimes it's a mindset you have to grow into by practice. So there's a lot of hands-on experiential learning that's just going to happen. And it's going to refine you, you know, with certain business savvy. It's going to, you know, refine you in your decision making. But I've come across entrepreneurs that are absolutely not risk takers, and they're the most frugal people you would ever have met. So they are very calculated money spenders, or, you know, value versus dollar investors, right? And part of the mindset, and through the ideation, you have to start thinking, if money wasn't an object, what would you do? What problems are you going to solve in the world? Money's not a factor. So just take that right off the plate and start ideating, because that's how real problems get solved in the world. Social problems, you know, monetary, what have you, technological innovations, they don't think about the dollar first and foremost. It doesn't hinder their creative process. And sometimes coming across, you know, students studying that, you actually have to break that down. You have to pull them. No, remember, we said money is not an object here. So now let's backtrack and get to what we're really here for. So yes, it can be a serious hindrance. Coaching them out of that thinking is actually sometimes part of the refining process.
Absolutely. I love what you're sharing here. This is so, so true that to be able to kind of remove that excuse, right? Because it is really true when you get down to the nitty gritty. I mean, the world is rich with resources for us to make our dreams come true.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And that comes at a different stage. You have to get to the creative process and the ideating, which is going to be hard enough.
Absolutely, absolutely. So to be able to know that the resources are there, so just kind of remove that excuse. If money were not an issue, right? Just remove that, and to be able to, right, problem solve, right? And that's what it nourishes the creativity. It helps us to actually, yeah, to actually solve a problem. So I love this. So what would you say would be, one brave step that someone who struggles with that can take to get over that? I know that you've said you share, just kind of put that out of the way, but what other tip would you have for somebody who really struggles with saying, well, I just can't do that. I'm just such a, let's say you said like practical person, money is such a real resource and I really can't seem to get over that. What would be a brave step they could take?
Well, I've done some guerrilla methods where I basically came up to a student that was struggling with it and I said, I will give you $1 million. Now go and get your work done. It's as simple as that. But
Love it.
you know what, I often tell, those looking for advice, things like that, and I hate to nutshell something, but in any lifestyle, business, financial decisions where you're kind of, you're kind of weighing value versus cost or price point. In any decision, it really comes down to this. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
I love it. I love it. And you just in working with you at MOMpreneur.Buzz, I mean, and just seeing your work too, you are just a very richly creative person. I know that's been your journey. You have that in your background. And so this perspective really helps because I know a lot of times entrepreneurs tend to come from that creative and sometimes even spiritual kind of background. They care about the world. What they do in the world matters more than just the money. And here at Let's Get Tender, this is all about knowing that when we're talking about money, we're talking about so much more than just money, and respecting it as energy and as a tool that it is, but that really it's truly about our journey and what we're here to do, the purpose we're here to serve in the world. And so I would love to hear from you. I'm sorry, what was that?
Couldn't agree with you more.
No. So I'd love to ask you, Stacey, so what do you believe about money that you feel empowers you in your work that you do in the world?
When I first actually, a little bit about my history here. So I had the College of Business and the Spirit Awards and the Center for Entrepreneurship and the Women's Business Center, and they were all previously my clients in my business. I think they thought it was more cost effective to bring me in-house and, give me a good title and, some good work to do and to tackle. But I always prided myself on being on the colorful side of business. But back to your question distinctly is, money is really about opportunity. There's different revenue streams of opportunity all around us, be it venture capitalists, be it crowdfunding, be it any kind of loans, micro, you can get into all of that. But to realize that we literally come from the land of plenty is so true. And being able to just get a little help, invest in a business coach. I've always advised to invest in a business coach. That's probably one of your wisest investments. But in order to help direct you to those resources of opportunity, just remember that there is lots of opportunity for funding your dreams, not to let it stop you.
So true, Stacey. So true. I love what you're saying there. Well, everything that you said about the fact that the resources are there the main only decision to make is, are you willing to receive them, to look for them, to find them, and to be open when they arrive, right? That's really.
I didn't say it was easy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing easy about entrepreneurship. And yet when you're built to be an entrepreneur, there's really nothing else you can do and be happy, you know?
This
Right?
is true. It's either that or lose sleep regularly.
And I second what you say about working one-on-one with a private coach. That truly is the fastest path to get the results you need. I've been there, you know, kind of ask me how I know, you know, I mean, sometimes we're tempted to think, oh, I'll just save a little bit and I'll do a group, coaching kind of thing, or a group, you know, but really, if you really want to achieve your results quickly and really save time and save money, really, it may seem counterintuitive, but the best thing you can do is work one-on-one with a business coach in your businesses.
Yeah, just put it in your budget, set it aside, invest in it. It holds the accountability factor. Just even having somebody to bounce off your next wild idea and where you're going to get it, where and how you're going to get it funded. Even if you're going through a bootstrapping method, kind of a lean startup model, still invest in a business coach, a wealth manager. Because they are definitely worth their dollar for sure.
Absolutely. Your return on your investment is absolutely.
That's something I truly wish that I would have done right in my 20s from the start.
Yes, and that's a great, you kind of led right into my next question. So would you say that that's probably one of the lessons that you've learned just in work and in business, that's something you would apply to your relationship with money?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even in my previous career as a brand strategist, I think I really would have benefited from a wealth management and a business coach, even when making the transition to establishing my own business. So I almost regret not having them ahead of time when I was heading into business. Because they're almost there to literally hold your hand if need be. And there will be times with business development, you do need somebody to hold your hand.
Oh my goodness.
Those little moments, right?
Absolutely. It could save so much time. And especially with entrepreneurship, you sometimes can feel isolated, and so it's really important to reach out and get that support. So what would you say, Stacey, then
That is definitely one of the reasons why I started MOMpreneur.Buzz with new moms and moms in business. They have a unique set of challenges beyond, the regular business scene, because they're not only CEOs of a growing, developing baby business, they're also CEO of their household sometimes and responsible for this tiny human that's just consumed their heart and their lives, and the conflict that goes on between the two issues. There's just unique news, challenges, resources that I wanted to not have any other mom feel like they were going to be without.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad you shared that about your magazine. And I really encourage, listeners and viewers today on our show to check out your magazine. I know you're going to give them a little more information about that toward the end of the show. But it's a beautiful magazine, and what you do is so needed for moms because there's unique challenges when you're a mom and running your own business and managing the household and all of that. I mentioned that my own challenges around that in my book, Money Wings. And so you provide this community of women to come together and support each other and in a beautiful way.
The community is really starting to build and gain some traction, which is good because I just really want to be the ambassador that hosts so many other stories of great women that are out there doing things, starting things, and maybe not necessarily feeling like they're getting any traction. But your story, Marlene, was fabulous. There were so many, you have the most comments of any of our articles, and it resonated with a lot of mom groups and things like that. So the reach was really, really good, and it's inspiring.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so honored and so excited to hear that because, when I, started first my work in helping other women grow their money wings, it was really my dream to be able to, make sure that women know they're not alone and that they're needed. Their gifts, their talents, their financial dream that they have in their heart is needed. And we as women are incredibly gifted with some unique strengths for business, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean,
We're stronger together.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not
Yeah.
about competition. It's about community and supporting
Yes.
each other.
Absolutely. And I found that when I started running, kind of group coaching sessions around money and for business for female entrepreneurs, that I was surprised to learn that that was actually one comment I'd hear again and again from the women in the group is they were so refreshed by the fact that they were there really to support each other. Women supporting each other. Wow.
Collaboration. What a concept.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. And as women, as moms and women, we can understand each other for sure, So, so Stacey, as we wrap up, I'd love for you to share maybe one of the kind of the most important tips that you feel you love to give any new or aspiring female entrepreneur when they're first getting started. And then also, where can people find you to learn more about the work that you do?
So, okay, some takeaways, right? One big takeaway is, and I had to kind of learn this for myself as well, is determining value over actual price point. Some people think the cheapest thing is the next best thing, or saving money and being frugal. But I have to tell you, I've wasted a lot of money on cheap stuff that I thought was going to get the job done, or, make an investment here or there. And it turns out I really should have actually put in the real dollar for a longer length kind of investment that gave me real value. I guess the next thing I would say is risk-taking. You don't necessarily have to be a gambler. You could be a mitigating fortune teller instead, right? So that means, do your homework, do your research. And when you're really willing to take some financial steps, then you have that research to go on, and you've made some really calculated investment choices versus straight out risk. And then I would say, realize that funding resources, there's probably more channels and avenues for that than you realize. So dig deeper. We always touch on a few. We have some quarterly mapping. We also have articles on crowdfunding, not to mention your fun mom business lifestyle tips. We're working on 50 ways to, survive a Skype call with your toddler without childcare. Very practical.
Right.
Not to mention, we're rolling out a whole lot of inspirational interviews of other moms in business and CEO influencers for you guys to just soak up and hopefully be inspired by. And that's all happening at MOMpreneur.Buzz. So I want to thank you, Marlene. This has been such a treat. I really enjoyed talking to you. And if I could get on that group you were mentioning earlier, I'd love the link to that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, absolutely. I'll definitely be providing that for sure. Thank you so much, Stacey. It's been an honor and a pleasure to chat with you. And thank you for your great, great tips. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
As I mentioned in my interview today with Stacey, you are not alone. Your gifts and your talents, as well as your financial dream, are needed in this world. Your dream was placed in your heart for a purpose, to bring joy and prosperity to your life, because it's something that you excel at and because it will contribute to the greater good. I want you to take time to feel into where you are being tugged to grow beyond your comfort zone today. Ask yourself, what support do you need to start unfolding your dream? As a strong and sometimes stubborn, very independent woman, I was never comfortable reaching out for help. It always just seemed easier to grind my way through challenges. And I didn't realize that this mindset actually made life much harder, not easier at all. But, starting my own business, it required me to shift into a new mindset that was actually very unfamiliar. But it proved to be the key to my success. I learned that it's not only okay to reach out for support, it's essential for the big dreams, the big results, the big love that we wish to share out into the world, whether it's in our own business or not. Plus, having support is way more fun, and yes, fun is allowed. Today, I'd like to share 5 tips to support you in unfolding your financial potential. In fact, you can find all the tips I'm about to share in my book, Money Wings, which is available on Amazon and coming soon in Barnes & Noble bookstores around the country. So my first tip is this. Sometimes it doesn't feel safe to trust your heart. And you may have had an experience in your life that caused you to trust your head much more than your heart. But I want to say, trust your heart. Science proves that women are designed with incredible intuitive powers. There's wisdom dropped into us long before we can even understand it, but others can cause us to doubt it. So when we follow our heart, we're connected to this inner truth within us in such a powerful way. It's our North Star whenever we lose our way. So never forget that. And also realize that the how will present itself along the way when you trust your heart. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. Tip number 2, tend to your emotions. Don't ignore them or push them away. Take deep breaths and practice self-care in this important area of your life as a woman, especially when it comes to money. Do your best to stay present to the feelings that surface when you're doing your money work around your business. Now, here's some ways that you can do that. You can light a candle. You can read an inspiring book or quote or a passage in a book. You can watch an inspiring film. You can write in a journal, soak in a warm bath, nibble on some dark chocolate, take a stroll, connect with a supportive friend, positive self-talk. Always be kind to yourself. Practice compassionate self-forgiveness and gratitude. Tip number 3. If you're really serious about unraveling your financial potential in your business, and I know that you are, you need to take baby steps, not huge leaps, to unfold your financial potential. This is so important because our critter brain needs proof all along the way that we're going to be okay as we shift into a new place in our life. So always take small steps to experience small results, because that will lead you to greater good in your business. If you jump too fast, too far, your mind's going to kick into overdrive with all its fears and doubts, and they're not even true, but they will nevertheless keep you stuck in doing what's safe and familiar, but it's actually not going to help you to realize your full potential. Number 4. Seek support from a person or a group for accountability. Yes, we need accountability and positive reinforcement. We need this so that we can help reach our financial goals. So find a community of like-minded women who share your values. This is vital to helping you get where you're called to go. The richest groups share celebrations, they share successes and their challenges, they offer support and feedback, they include strategies and even professional connections and helpful resources like MOMpreneur.Buzz with our guest Stacey Allis today on the show. Remember, the heart of financial success is in relationships. These are relationships that are positive, not the ones that drain you. Number 5, treasure your financial dream until it becomes reality. You might feel some pressure around you to stay small, even though you feel this strong desire to grow into something new, whether it's a new job, entrepreneurship, more income. When this happens, guilt and shame and doubt can start to creep in. But here's what to do instead. Fan into a flame the gift that you were created to share with love and power and self-discipline. We're about to wrap up our time together here today, and so I offer these closing thoughts for you. You and I know that it takes big love to break through big fears that threaten the pursuit of our financial happy ever after. And yet women show up again and again with that big love, and miracles happen. So, honor your blazing zone of genius. Everybody has a gift. Trust yours. I've always seen the world through the eyes of faith and innovation, but I really greatly undervalued these strengths in myself based on the opinion of others. And as a result, my world became very small and financially unstable. But when I learned to be vulnerable in safe places to connect with others, opportunities magically appeared. So live in your unique design and you will soon ignite a flourishing, joyful, prosperous life. Setting the course for your financial happy ever after begins with just one step: your decision to make it happen. Therein lies your freedom for your dream to take flight and to change your money story. Remember, you are equipped to generate amazing income and impact in this world. Know that you already have everything in you to begin your journey into financial freedom. Believe in your brave heart and your blazing imagination to thrive. For more tips on this, please visit my website at MarleneElizabeth.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Let's Get Tender, where money is always a good conversation to have.